Hello, everyday business leaders. Welcome back to our show. Today, we are honoring some of our business leaders here locally. And I have Kyle Masengale with ASAP Payroll. He's also an ambassador, Aspire ambassador. And so we have so much fun together building the community. And thank you for stopping by today.
Yeah, no problem. I'm definitely glad you got my name right this time. Because I think the first time I met you, got my name totally wrong.
You know, I have to read all these things. I'm like, who is this person? Are you from Citizens Bank or where are you? I know, right? I'll never forget that.
Me either. It's all good.
But I always think about you because what's the tagline that you say at every Coffee Connections?
Oh, when it's payday, you want to be paid ASAP.
That's right. And that is so true. Did you think of that?
We did. Me and my dad thought about it. We've been trying for years to develop something like that. We never. And then one day he was just driving down the street and it just came to him. So, and then he told me, he's like, you should do this. I'm like, and it just stuck. So that's what we're doing.
Sometimes your dad has the best ideas.
Yes,
right?
Exactly.
So, if you get online and you look at ASAP Payroll, that's where you want to find you guys because you do a lot of services. And when I say comprehensive, you guys are doing a ton of stuff. And it's not just in the Greenwood area. You're in Greenwood, but you serve a lot of customers.
Yes. So we serve a couple hundred customers all across Indiana. I mean, most of them are here in central Indiana, but all across Indiana. And then we have several out of other states, and we file taxes. And I believe we're up to 32 states is last time I checked that we file taxes in. That's if say somebody hires a sales rep in Idaho or California or something where they add a second location in Kentucky, we can help them out.
Mm-hmm. And I was, researching your website a little bit because I had since I met you and tried to figure out okay, how can I use you and what do you do and how can I help refer people to you? And I love this people predictive, which is human capital management that you guys have that I love because some software companies, some HR companies don't think about how you really need to predict behavior so that you can actually get the most effective management from them. So tell me about that. What does that mean and how does that work and how does it fit into your company?
Yeah, so it's a total solution, not just payroll, obviously. It's everything from hire to retire is what I like to say. So from onboarding the employee, applicant tracking, background checks, open enrollments, payroll, timekeeping, tracking certifications, the people predictive things. I'm still trying to learn it because it's still kind of a new thing to me. And basically you can go into the software and you can I'm trying to describe it. You can basically you can go in there and say, hey, I want to know how many women under the age of 35 work for whatever department, and type that in the software, and the software says, oh, I got 16 women under the age of 35. You can even go by, how many Hispanics in what department or whatever, nationalities or however you want to track it. It can pull up all those analytics and stuff.
Wow.
So it's very cool.
That's really helpful for people too, because, in today's world, it's like you have to understand what you have so that you can build from that core. What do you think has changed for you guys in the last couple of years since COVID? I know that you've had a really busy couple of years. What's been the thing do you think that has made the most impact to your business?
To our business, I would say we've focused heavily online. So that's probably our biggest impact as far as getting more eyeballs on us. So, because that's what I'm all about, getting eyeballs, and that I'm a true believer of the more people that see you, the more leads and the more referrals come in to you. So that helps as well. And then we do a ton of golf outings. So we do several golf outings a year for local chambers and different charities and things. So we also meet people that way as well.
I see you everywhere. I see you on Facebook. I see you on LinkedIn. I see you just everywhere. And your dad started this company, 1989?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. So this is year 33.
A couple years, right? a couple years ago. And so as you developed, how did you decide hey, I want to jump on board with this?
Yeah. So I kind of we always growing up, I always kind of figured I'd work for him. But I originally wanted to own restaurants. So I worked for one of the local McDonald's for a long time. And then I almost bought into Quiznos myself personally at age 22. One down here in Greenwood. There's another one in Franklin I was going to buy into. And then ultimately that deal fell apart. I started selling newspaper advertising for one of the local newspapers around here. And I was having success, and my dad was like, well, I said, you're doing okay with that. Let's just bring you over and give you a shot at this and see what happens. And so far, it's 9 years later, and it's worked out, I guess.
Wow, that's so cool. Well, and how is it to work with your dad? I mean, a lot of people say I could never work with my parents, but I think you guys have such a great relationship. I see you everywhere together.
Yeah, it's worked. It's definitely worked out great. We have a really good relationship. So we just stay in our own lanes. Like I do all the sales and marketing, and he runs the office. There are definitely some days we want to rip each other's heads off, but way more good days than bad days.
Yeah. Well, and, so I think I train a lot on multi-generation and how that communication can either go really good or really bad. But it sounds like you guys have it figured out so that he allows you to experience the things in social media and kind of the new technology that really brings in great business opportunities for you.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So I know we were talking a little bit like SEO. People always ask, if you're in marketing and you have to get somebody to help you with SEO, talk to me about what that experience has been for you. I know the impact that it's made just by tweaking, hiring the right person, focusing on that online opportunity.
Yeah, so we hired a guy. It's probably been almost 3 years now. We've been working with him. He's out of New York, and he worked for another payroll company that we knew out of New York, and he started his own thing. And we were really the first ones to like give him a shot at doing it because we knew he proved it with those guys. Mm-hmm. And we're like, you know what, these guys are having success. Let's try it. Mm-hmm. And I know social media, SEO, you can spend a lot of money and get nothing. But you can also spend a lot of money and get a whole lot. And we've luckily been on the whole lot side. Mm-hmm. So we meet every other week, and we talk about, what blogs we're going to talk about this month. So we do a couple blogs every month, release an ebook every month, every quarter release an ebook. We did videos for a while, newsletters. So just different, trying to keep our clients and potential clients and referral partners on the know of what's going on in the HR and payroll space. Mm-hmm.
It's been so confusing because everybody says like, oh, they've either been in HR or a lot of changes have happened since COVID because people, right? So you've seen it, I'm sure, with the staffing changes in companies that you're working with. Like people just don't want to show up anymore. They don't want to show up anymore. So what's the strategy that you're seeing for some of your companies, like to keep people involved, keep them motivated, keep them hired? Are you hearing kind of what the trends are?
A little bit. I mean, everybody's struggling. I mean, it seems like almost all of our clients, they all say, oh, I can't find anybody, or nobody wants to work, or some version of that. Some people have implemented, trying to offer some kind of benefits, better wages, like health insurance is one thing that can really, or a 401k or stuff like that to really try to reel people in. Because it's hard to compete against the big companies that have, the big monster paychecks and the big health insurance plans. Mm-hmm. So that's a big thing.
Mm-hmm. And you have to kind of pivot. But I think with you guys having that, having 200 plus customers that you have as clients, that gives you enough sampling of a system. You have enough population that you can kind of share ideas too from those customers that, because it's tough right now. I think everybody's trying to get together with the right industries to say, what do we need to change so that we make sure that we can grow? And if you don't have the people, like what you guys know, if you don't have the right people, they're not going to be able to get the job done.
Yeah, definitely. If you don't have the right people, you're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
So finding the right people is the hardest part. And then there's people that they say they'll hire people and then they'll show up. Like I know some people talk about when they onboard somebody. We've not done this ourselves, but I know when they onboard somebody, it's a whole thing. Like when they're interviewing, they'll ask them what their favorite drink is. So they'll say, oh, well, McDonald's Coke is my favorite drink. So they know on day one they got a big McDonald's Coke sitting on that person's desk waiting for them. And then they give them all kinds of T-shirts and different things with your swag and all different stuff, and maybe a gift card to Starbucks or whatever. You take them out to lunch that first day to try to really, because that first day matters. Mm-hmm. Is kind of a strategy I've heard people talk about.
Mm-hmm. Hi, this is Melahni Ake. When you visit everydayleaders.com, you'll find valuable resources to become a better leader in your life. Women's leadership programs, including Top Floor Women, our monthly networking events, corporate workshops, and strategic business coaching services. Discover classes and products to develop yourself, including our morning leadership devotionals. Don't forget, order one of my inspirational books, sign up for classes, or pick up some gear in the Leader Store.
Listen to the Everyday Business Leaders podcast, apply to be a guest in our studio, or even sponsor your own commercial advertisement. Contact us today at everydayleaders.com.
First impressions, right?
Yeah.
First day, big impressions. Like, I got your name wrong.
I didn't hold you to that, though.
But the thing is, right, it's about the intention. And so I think you guys, as really, I see you as a leader in the community of payroll. When you think about payroll, I'm just like, who else would I think about is just ASAP, because you've done such a great job at marketing that. You show up, you're there, you give support to all the community events that are happening as well. And so I think that's really a big sign of leadership as far as a business, really taking that open stance of how can I do for you at any time. And so it's not just about signing the checks over, but it's about giving when people need help.
Yeah.
So thank you for that, because you are everywhere, and it's so great to really be a part of kind of joining you to help celebrate businesses and build businesses here.
Yeah, I'm a big believer in helping out and being in the community, and I think a rising tide lifts all boats. Mm-hmm. That's my mentality.
Mm-hmm. So what did you learn, or I guess what was the first time that you learned that lesson? Because you've been in a lot of different businesses, obviously, from your journey and your story. What kind of made you think that way? Was it something always ingrained in you, or is it?
Well, just a lot of different. I talk to a lot of people around that are in my business, so we're part of national groups. And I've kind of learned what some of these guys do, and just seen what other people, even in this community, even people that aren't even in my business, I see what they do and what they've had success, and some of them I want to be like, or I want to, kind of mimic what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
So
who would you say your business mentor is?
So my business mentor is probably a guy in Staten Island. His name's Larry Kagan. He owns a payroll company out there called Barron. And me and that guy are like, he's almost like my second dad. Mm-hmm. So I could call him and with anything I want to ask him, anything I need, I'll call him. He's come out here for like the Indy 500, stayed at my house. We see him 2 or 3 times a year at different conferences, and my parents have been to his daughter's weddings, and so it's a big, anything I need, that guy will pick up the phone. Mm-hmm. Doesn't matter what time of day it is.
Mm-hmm. And from that relationship, I think for people that are listening that may be just starting a business, or they're like, hey, I'm struggling with a business, how do you find the right mentor?
How do you find the right one?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's just find somebody that you want to be like, or you see what they do, and you want to kind of base your career kind of what they're doing, maybe tweak it a little bit or whatever, and just kind of engage them and see if they're willing to help you out.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes it takes a little bit, right? Sometimes it's you think that person's the right fit, and then maybe you learn something, and then you have to kind of pivot a little bit. But that's so important to critical business leadership, is figuring out where your gaps are and trying to say, hey, I want to grow in this area, and then getting in alignment with the right person.
Yes.
Because it becomes a friendship forever, right? Like Dee said, it's so important.
Yeah, definitely. We're definitely more than just business. So that guy's even came out here. I spent the night at his house, and he's even came out here for because we're big into barbecue. Mm-hmm. So there's a barbecue class out here in Beech Grove, and he's came all the way out here one weekend just to go to this barbecue class out here, because we told him it was the greatest thing, and so he bought all of his sauces from this guy and everything. So we talked about barbecue, and now with this past summer we got into cooking pizzas. So now we call each other every now and then asking, what'd you try? Because we're still figuring that one out. We've had some really bad pizzas this summer, but give me a year, we're going to be the pizza king.
So did you buy an oven or anything? Do you have one of those brick ovens?
It's like one of those portable ovens. It's I can't remember the brand at the moment, but it was the one that was on Shark Tank a couple of years ago. I'm a big Shark Tank person, so it's the one that was on Portella, I think it is, that was on Shark Tank, and that's kind of where the idea came from. So we're like, you know what? That sounds cool. Let's give it a try.
You just need to have that at the golf outings.
One day, maybe it'd be a lot of pizza, but
awesome. Hey, JP the Geek has shrimp cocktail.
Exactly.
Just come on around and have your shrimp and your pizza.
There we go.
That's so great. So barbecue, what's your favorite?
Mine is probably pulled pork. It's probably my favorite. Okay. So yeah, I like to cut it up, and obviously like to eat it on sandwiches or without a sandwich, but I really like putting it on mac and cheese. My one thing I really like that I recently learned, I I went down to the Jack Daniels facility. We were coming back from Florida a couple years ago, and went to Jack Daniels for the tour of the distillery. And there's a little barbecue shop out there, and they made this sandwich called Jack on Crack. And I was like, oh, God, I got to try that. So it's a grilled cheese sandwich with pepper jack cheese with barbecue in the middle, and boom, that's it.
Gosh.
And that is one of my favorite things right now.
That's awesome. Well, that's part of it, exploring things that you don't know and giving things a chance and like failing and just trying more things that that, hey, that's interesting to me. I think what I love about you is you're so curious that you just say, hey, this could work. This relationship could work. This expansion could work. We could try this idea. And what I love about you and your dad is he does his part and you do your part. And I think that's what I see from an outsider is why it's grown and why it's been so successful. You guys have so much momentum. And so it's exciting to celebrate you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
It really is.
Yeah, we had a couple rough years, but I mean, it's these last 2 years. It's really just I think we were up 30% last year. And we're probably going to do that again this year.
Wow.
So I mean, we are just on fire.
Yay!
So.
Yay! So what's the exact kind of business that you're looking for? So when people are looking at this and they go, okay, I need to call Kyle ASAP.
Sure. Yeah. So I tell people that I want to be the guy that owns the people that have under 100 employees. So if you have under 100 employees, whether that's you're starting up and it's just a one-man operation, the plumber that needs help, we'll gladly work with you. Or if you're somebody that has multi-locations and 100 employees in different states, we'd love that business too. So payroll, time clocks, and onboarding are like our big three things that we like to focus on. Because we can obviously go after bigger stuff, but you know what? I'd rather let the big guys fight over that stuff. It's a lot easier to keep the smaller guys that have 20, 30, 40 employees than keep somebody that's got 400 employees.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes that's harder, right? Because the smaller things are sometimes a lot harder to manage because you've just got to make sure you're on top of it all the time.
Yes.
So, but we so appreciate you in the community. I just have to tell you, because it's great to have the energy. It's great to have the companies that really want to care and want to grow and want to help and support other businesses.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I see here in this community. So I wanted to bring you on here just to celebrate you, to honor you and what you're doing. I know it's a lot of hard work. Everybody that's an entrepreneur today is, they've all got their own struggles. And so if we can help each other, elevate and get visibility and do it together, it's more fun.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I definitely appreciate it. My whole thing is I want to see the whole South Side, like South Side and Greenwood, grow, because I just get tired of seeing everything going up to Hamilton County.
I know.
I'm one of those people. It's like, man, I don't want to move to Hamilton County. I want to see Johnson County just rock and roll. And I think it's on the cusp of doing it. I really do. So I think in 3, 4, 5 years it's going to look totally different down here, and that's what I want to see.
Oh, that's
so I'm a true
awesome.
believer of the South Side.
That's awesome.
So,
well, any of you that are on the South Side, 100 employees or less, I want you to do one thing right now. Get on the website and go to ASAPPayroll.com, and you can find Kyle, and you can find out about his services. So I really appreciate you coming by today.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Have a great summer. I'll see you at maybe a coffee connection soon.
I'm sure I will. I'll be there.
Awesome. Thank you, Kyle.
Hey, thank you.